When I was younger watching Naruto, I always thought of Orochimaru as the snake-like ninja. I mean, don't lie, there's a lot of different aspects about him that remind you of a snake. You guys already know the deal. He's a ninja-type character in this Naruto ninja universe that has went through his fair share of evolutions and learning different type of ninja arts and techniques. I mean, you know he's a skilled ninja when he's actually a part of the legendary signing Legendary Ninja alongside Jiraiya and the powerhouse Tsunade. In the Naruto universe, especially in the Hidden Leaf Village, there's different ranks when it comes to different type of ninja. Orochimaru was actually a student of the Hokage during the earlier times of the Naruto saga, pretty much being a student under that's at the top of the food chain, a very skilled ninja on his own right, because he's a Hokage. Despite all of this, he was actually the third disciple, which in short makes him dangerous off gate. Another way to understand his might in the Itachi novel, by the way, yeah, Itachi has a novel, Orochimaru is confirmed to be a contender for Hokage. There is a lot to the ninja world. For one, in the Naruto world, via training using your inner energy, you can do a whole bunch of different type of techniques that can be beneficial, whether it be healing or blast different elements and stuff. There's different type of chakra natures that allows certain characters to specialize in using certain elements. Some characters can use multiple elements, and even rarer characters can use all of the elements. Orochimaru is one of those rare beings that can use all the major chakra elemental natures, which makes him a very versatile ninja. We see him on occasions like this use wind, so when he's pretending to be hurt, he can release some poisonous type bullcrap, paralyzing venom. He's one of those characters that's obsessed with knowledge to the point where he'll almost do anything to get the knowledge. I mean, there's a lot to learn in this Naruto universe. They even narrate how he's always had ambition over the years, even while young. As you can see, he's under the tutelage of the third Hokage while young here. And Orochimaru was one of those people that was a prodigy. One could say he was talented. I mean, based on the fact a lot of ninja have to memorize hand seals and stuff to do stuff with their chakra, superhuman stuff, you kind of have to have a decent IQ. He's one of those characters that kind of turned into a villain over the years, joined this organization known as the Akatsuki for a little bit. Back to his motives right quick, because here's the thing. Even when he went to the dark side, it's only kind of out of selfish ambition, one could say, because he just really wanted to just learn about everything in the truths of the world in the ninja world. But in order to have enough time to learn all the jutsus, he had to work on one jutsu in particular. He knew it would take dang near eternity to learn every jutsu, so he said, let me make a jutsu to help me be immortal and be the ultimate being. Because a human lifespan is too short, immortality would give him plenty of time to be able to learn every jutsu though. There's a couple things he has to accomplish for his jutsu to work though. He has to continually steal different bodies because bodies aren't eternal. It's more explanation on how this jutsu works here. A reincarnation jutsu that steals the body of another and makes the spirit immortal. That's why in the show you might see him get different appearances. He was even trying to get Sasuke's. You see how his face looks here. Stated here how his body's not immortal, but how he has to replace his body. He knows when to switch when his current body actually starts rejecting him. It's explained here how he'll die. He'll just obtain a new, even younger and stronger body, better than the last, to keep the cycle going. Them experiments paid off because even when he gets hit by Tail Beast and gets his arm ripped off, he can do some snake-like shed your skin type stuff. Like, yeah, he's literally a snake ninja. And pretty much rejuvenate himself. Like when Nine-Tailed Fox was kind of going berserk and was in four-tailed state, Orochimaru with his weird durability and experiments kind of helped his durability withstand attacks from this being, even burn him. If it wasn't for these weird techniques, these attacks would have definitely took him out, shedding his skin before that version of his body gets incinerated. Even gets cut in half, and it looks like, yeah, he's not even dripping guts, dripping snakes, and the snakes just pull him back together. One could say at this point that his true form is literally just a whole bunch of snakes put together, because this is apparently his true form. I mean, you got occasions like this with adult Sasuke, more grown up, and he sheds his skin, his true form, because he experimented endlessly. And this is what he has become, like a little legit straight up snake that can attack you. There's this thing in Naruto called Sage Mode. It's basically this universe's version of a Super Saiyan transformation, but for ninjas. Orochimaru actually wanted to get a Sage Mode because you already know, based on his many researches, his clan, Orochimaru looked into Jugo's clan, wanted to learn about their rampages and stuff like that, tried to track down their source of power, but at that time he didn't have the body needed to acquire that level of power. He couldn't become the perfect sage that Kabuto did here in this particular occasion, which is why he came up with the curse mark shenanigan stuff instead. This could also give an explanation on his enhanced physical strength and stuff and speed I'm going to go over in a bit. He claims that he can revive other dead folk that's been dead for a minute. This was kind of backed up when we seen him actually summon Hokage that are not here now in the present. Like, it's not uncommon for a ninja to be able to do summons, but summoning reanimation style, this type of reanimation jutsu summons old beings that should not be here no more, but he can kind of control them and they fight for him. Notice how they're casually having a conversation, talking about how he's impressive to be able to summon them like this. In this occasion as well, the first Hokage even gives Orochimaru respect. Orochimaru was even flattered, being praised by the god of shinobi. Reanimation, zombified Ito Tensei jutsu that Orochimaru can do. It's pretty busted, having old people come back from that are dead fight with you. For a little while in the show, Orochimaru was nerfed. He eventually got unnerfed again by putting on this mask in this temple. Put the mask on to possess the god of death, the souls that eventually was trapped. He eventually just cut the stomach open to release the souls so he can get the Hokage and reanimate him again later on in the future to have the Kage fight in their behalf. Along with his versatility, like using fire, of course, one of the many things he can do, using snakes in combat, he can also do summonings of all sorts. Like I've already mentioned summonings, but I'm talking about other summonings like creepy snake sword summoning type stuff. So yeah, he will use a blade if he has to. You remember this powerful transformation Sasuke used to have? Due to Orochimaru being obsessed with immortality, Orochimaru was the reason for beings having the curse mark. What benefit would Orochimaru have by giving other people power? You're asking, right? This is like one of his sneaky ways of kind of staying immortal because he kind of can stay alive as long as somebody has this curse mark on them at the time. In other words, that first series we saw all these people that have curse marks, it was really no point because he technically was never going nowhere. There's too many people that had the curse mark on him at the time. You're probably thinking this is too easy. Well, not that easy because there's a 1 in 10 chance somebody can even survive the curse mark bite from him. But if you miraculously do survive his bite, Orochimaru kind of helps himself out by being able to not really die permanently. He's one of those few ninjas that can do genjutsu, illusion type of messing with your senses type of jutsu. That can mess with your head to disorient you, to give the character an opening. Orochimaru is capable of this too. So he already has weird durability, so it's already hard to kill him even if you do hit him. But if he wants to have extra protection, he can summon big bull crap like this that's bigger than trees. He can actually summon help in combat and summon his own giant snake, and he's standing on top of it here. And these snakes right here that seem to have curse marks. 2 very tall snakes he can summon. Okay, we get it, Orochimaru. We know you're obsessed with snakes. He has snake attacks like this he can attack you with. I'm talking about summoning that many. Did I mention that the snakes that he's spitting out of his mouth have their own sword? This guy, Orochimaru, even has sword attacks that can stab you and then can have the sword itself turn back into a snake and crawl. Like, one could say this is just all a part of his own body. Can shoot snakes out of his arms and wrap you up in it. He's done it on plenty of occasions to show off his snake-based attacks with his arms. When Ninetales was going berserk and rampaging, the amount of raw power output blew away pretty much the whole forest to where certain people had to protect themselves and made a massive crater. And Orochimaru, for as far as we know, didn't protect himself with no jutsu or nothing and was able to withstand all of that mess. He even got straight up hit. When Naruto was cloaked like this, if it wasn't for his weird-like physiology, straight up attacks like this from Naruto in this state probably would have killed any other character. He went flying ridiculously far after this hit. It was a direct hit, no shielding. Went sliding that far. Didn't really do too much but just mess up his mask he was wearing. Thanks to his weird body, we got hit with straight up flames without really no protection. And he just made a joke out of it. Young ninja like Sasuke when he was weaker at the time. So thanks to a combination of his weird durability and the fact he can summon defenses like this to triple Rashomon, he can basically withstand mountain shattering attacks if he can at least see it coming. Because despite the tail beast not being in his full form or full glory, this cloaked form is more than enough power to do a tail beast bomb. Things that are known to be able to level mountains with ease. In his defense, these Rashomon did get obliterated, but if it wasn't for the Rashomon shielding him from all this raw power, that would have been dangerous for Orochimaru. But thanks to all that protecting him, he just simply got knocked on his butt from the blast instead of dying. Now, if we're talking about how hard Orochimaru can hit, while being buried underground on this occasion, no, his face is literally in the ground. He shoots out a sword that slices through the earth itself to hit this tail beast form Naruto cloak form, and it can stretch ridiculously long and it can hit with ridiculous force because it's implied it was bearing through different trees and stuff despite how far it is. And despite the land that's in the way, it just keeps on stretching and going through more debris. Occasions like this, to be able to pin the tail beast like this is definitely impressive. But his blade can't pierce him though. It lets you know the durability of the Ninetales though. When it comes to fighting ability, one can argue he's got some sword training or taijutsu training, but I will admit he has a weird fighting style when he uses his sword. But here he blocks an attack when Sarutobi does the power pole extend technique, basically when he summons the Monkey King Enma. There's small implication that this sword itself can endure mountain shattering or maybe even attack with mountain shattering attacks. I mean, he does have snakes that can topple over buildings like nothing, right? I mean, you got occasions like this, these summons can make big shockwaves like this because the summons are strong too. They can go through bedrock. Big castles like this, Orochimaru can just summon big snakes and destroy it. Wood-style jutsu seems to be godlike in Naruto since it's kind of all branches from the first Hokage in the first place, one of the best shinobis of all time. So anybody that uses wood-style has a very powerful jutsu at their disposal. I mean, think about it. It's one of the few jutsus, if used on a high enough scale, we have seen it actually physically restrain the Nine Tails. You know, this little power pole that Sarutobi has, you know, in this occasion, it was fighting the first Hokage, the guy that can do the godlike wood-style stuff. When he was being restrained by the first wood-style jutsu, in this particular occasion, this power pole basically, power pole extend like Dragon Ball. Let me stop. He was able to break through the branches with the power of this pole. And Orochimaru's sword he summons can withstand blows from this power pole without breaking. That was able to break those wood-style attacks. So that's something to think about. When it comes to his sword and everything put together, he seems to have decent fighting speed. When it comes to his sword and him and everything like that, even if he's not necessarily touching the sword, he seems to be able to telekinetically bring the sword back to him to stab beings, even if he's not necessarily grabbing the blade. He's literally getting his soul pulled out while he did that too. Tsunade, other members of the legendary signing that should have comparable power to Orochimaru in their own right, because her, Jiraiya, and Orochimaru are all strong in their own right. Orochimaru can use his sword, even when he's technically nerfed at this moment, that his arms are actually messed up because of the third Hokage battle. Her blows are so strong that even Orochimaru says, "Don't get hit once, Kabuto." He's even been punched by beings like Tsunade more than once and was not splattered into pieces thanks to his weird physiology. Tsunade basically has super strength because she's really good at controlling her chakra and focusing her energy at the tip of her fist at the point of impact to mimic super strength, basically. Which is why she can do all of this with one attack, with one kick. And it's impressive that Orochimaru can take straight up attacks from her. He likes fighting in a way to where he kind of stretches his neck with the sword. That's very hard to fight against. This is occasions like this where he stabs Tsunade with the blade, slicing and chopping. This dude has a lot of ways to attack you. Even when he can't use his hands technically, he can still do attacks with his tongue to grab you. See, here he uses his tongue, in this occasion with Tsunade, and use it as a rope to sling you around. Then use what I already showed about him summoning the sword without having to spam hand signs, and that's when I was showing you how he was stabbing Tsunade and stuff. Even slam Jiraiya in this example, cratering the ground. Remember how I brought up earlier, him using that sword to attack the Nine Tails? And made the sword extend ridiculously long, even longer than his whole body, technically. I mean, since he's snake-like, it would be weird if he didn't have some type of speed. In this case, he literally blitzes Naruto with physicals and just sticks him. Doesn't do too much, but it's the fact that he stuck Nine-Tailed cloak form. In the aspect of pure taijutsu, it's shown that he has fighting speed, like how the Four Tails Naruto cloak was trying to grab him from below and he was able to react, and even swirl out of the way of multiple attacks. So Tsunade even tried to blitz him, and he jumped out of the way. In Naruto, it's not uncommon for a character to move too fast for a normal human eye to see. Orochimaru has plenty of proof of stuff like this. Because you guys already know how the Sharingan, due to its nature of being able to sense people's chakra, it helps them be able to predict the opponent's movements and what they're going to do next. In turn, one can say a form of precognition or being able to predict your next movements. One can say this helps fighting speed, blah, blah, blah. Sasuke, one of the Uchiha, they can use this technique during the earlier days. It's been shown in this series that if you have enough speed, you can still blitz a character that has two tome. Like during the early days when Sasuke's physicals went and all that, he was getting blitzed by Rock Lee, somebody we know for a fact is confirmed to be faster than the eye can see and can move like a blur. As you can see, Sasuke, even with these eyes, he was having mad trouble hitting. Look how he's zipping around the battlefield. Orochimaru, when he was disguised, of course, was having major issues hitting him, dodging his attacks and everything. You know he's built different when ninjas that are Jonin rank, the rank right below Hokage tier, pretty much meaning they're still elite ninja. Using his tongue techniques, it's still blitzed this ninja and was kind of toying with said ninja. Proof that she's a Jonin, by the way. You know you're strong when beings like Kakashi, who are super top tier super Jonins, get messed up by him. The third Hokage at the time, Sarutobi Sensei, even stated that Orochimaru has the power to destroy a small country himself. Sarutobi even had his doubts. The Hokage at the time had his doubts about him beating him, about being able to beat Orochimaru, letting you know that Orochimaru has to be at least Hokage tier. Orochimaru, due to him being one of the three great ninja along with Tsunade and Jiraiya, has Jonings and everybody scared. They're even so scared of Orochimaru, they even say if he shows up, they're going to have to implement martial law. When it comes to Orochimaru's craziest technique, the 8-headed serpent, I told you earlier about how the curse mark makes some people to come back alive, kind of like some Voldemort stuff. If you got a curse mark, there's a chance he could be revived. It's kind of hard to get an idea of his might, but maybe we can get an idea of his might like this when it comes to his pure size. Because as we already know, this form didn't last long because Itachi kind of blitzed it with the Susanoo, but that's none of my business. We just know it's massive compared to the Susanoo. It's even bigger than Susanoo. I mean, the Uchiha hideout looks like a doggone mountain. Not to mention characters in Naruto can level stuff like this, just to throw that out there. And if we want to go by just pure size and the fact he's one of the top tier ninja in this universe, he should be able to level a mountain too. When it comes to the raw power, I mean, just look at the size comparison. Even though he is out angling this, you can kind of get an idea of how big he is from these angles like this. I definitely believe, even though we lack showings for it, due to the fact he's a top tier ninja up there with Tsunade and Jiraiya, we know Tsunade can level mountains because of feats of her doing crazy stuff like this to Madara Susanoo and stuff of that such. And Orochimaru, I think it's fair like this to say forms like this should at least be able to level mountains if we assume he's as strong as his size, or probably stronger than what he looks like. But we didn't get much screen time for it because it got blitzed by Itachi. Thanks a lot, Itachi. This 8-headed serpent jutsu, it was even stated that it can crush Uchiha's hideout, which was like a size of a mountain. So that statement about it being near the size of a mountain should be accurate of him being able to level mountains. And it's the most powerful giant serpent. It's almost like a dragon god. I find it interesting that they say that Orochimaru couldn't become a perfect sage like Kabuto did in this occasion. But in the handbook, it also stated the same thing as stated here about Kabuto. He's a dragon. They stated the same thing about Orochimaru's mightiest form too. You know what I mean? Also, keep note, this form is even larger than Manga, this giant snake that he be summoning all the time. To give you an idea, Manga is easily the size of buildings or houses, not even standing up all the way straight. The Akatsuki, a very strong organization, there's multiple members in the Akatsuki that can take on Tailed Beast 1v1, and they consider Orochimaru a threat. It's been 10 years since he left the Akatsuki. There's even implications that the only reason older Sasuke was able to get a W on Orochimaru was because his arms were rendered useless by the Reaper Death Seal. Later on down the timeline, there's like this running gag or meme in the Naruto community when somebody has the first Hokage, or one could say Hashirama's cells in them, they get ridiculously buff because he can do jutsu that's only exclusive to him. You guys already know where this is going. Orochimaru, he should technically be stronger than ever due to getting the Hashirama cell. Like, it's literally a running gag that beings that have his cells get amped with power to bind them. It was this occasion right here when he got empowered by going in his Zetsu body by the First's DNA during this Edo Tensei stuff. In the last arcs, Orochimaru does very little, I would say. And despite all this mess I said in this video, he actually becomes kind of chill. He forms a truce with Konoha and doesn't attack them. He doesn't want to destroy it no more. Okay, what a change of heart. Let's be honest, what he gonna do with current Naruto? He gonna get clapped. He trains from time to time with folks, but he still should be respected as a powerful ninja with great physicals, great versatile abilities, hard to kill him thanks to his weird physiology and experiments on himself and stuff, constantly wanting to learn more. There's a lot to respect here. But before I get going, I gotta give a quick thanks for those that have donated to the channel. Helps out a lot. Respect Orochimaru though, the snake ninja basically. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.